As always on Friday, fake questions, real answers. There's stuff I want to talk about, but don't want to wait for you to ask me. Dear Colin, how closely are you watching the Colin Kaepernick Raiders tryout? Well, there are players at that position that I think are really interesting. Kyler Murray's an interesting player. His dynamic with the Cardinals fascinates me. Aaron Rodgers is almost always interesting. Pat Mahomes, I feel the same way. When Colin Kaepernick was great, I didn't find him that interesting. Now he's been gone 5 years, and the last time he played, he completed 59% of his throws and had a passer rating suboptimal, threw for 185 yards a game. If you left any industry for 5 years and weren't great in it when you left, I don't have high hopes. He'll be sort of a often talked about, perhaps controversial backup. I think most coaches would prefer not to have Tebow, Baker, Cam, Manziel, Kaepernick as backups. But kids are easily outraged and bothered. I find the people outraged by Colin Kaepernick 5 years later, frankly, to be juvenile. He's not that interesting, and I don't feel he's controversial. The media, always self-indulgent, will probably make him that. Dear Colin, what do you make of the surprising influx of bets for Trey Lance to win the NFL's MVP? He's gone from 200 to 1 to 60 to 1. Well, 60 to 1 in my book is still a long shot. But I think it tells you that Kyle Shanahan is the most respected offensive coach in the game. Think about this. He beat Sean McVay with Nick Mullins. Not only did Nick Mullins and Kyle Shanahan beat Aaron Donald and the Rams defense, he went 24 of 25 in that game 2 years ago. With, again, I'll repeat, Nick Mullins. Kyle Shanahan made Matt Schaub a Pro Bowler. Not only a Pro Bowler. Do you remember the year he had with the Texans? He threw for nearly 5,000 yards. He had a 99 passer rating. He had 29 touchdowns. It's Matt Schaub. So people look at Kyle Shanahan, and if Trey Lance, who had a finger issue last year, in fairness, if he can get into the 63 to 64% completion rate, he's going to be successful. The team will be successful. The team will be a playoff team. And my guess is it'll be a good story, which always helps in most valuable player voting in any league. Dear Colin, what do you make of Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss football coach, saying college football players now, it's a professional sport and they're professional players? What I make of it is, well, he's right. If you're paid, you're a professional. I always hear this about the NIL, the name, image, likeness business. It is not sustainable. I laugh at that. I've been told my entire life that if you keep gouging fans, eventually they will not show up. This is not sustainable. Yeah, they keep showing up. It's $18 now for a Heineken at most stadiums. The American economy, Colin, cannot withstand $1 billion debt. It is not sustainable. Yeah, now it's like $12 trillion, and it keeps on rolling. It appears sustainable. I've been hearing for years, these television networks cannot keep spending this level of money with these leagues. Networks now even pay for hockey, and nobody watches hockey. Folks, some people are just rigid. Some people struggle to adapt and evolve. You keep telling me things aren't sustainable. They are. Lane Kiffin nailed it. There'll be 7 to 8 teams at the top of the college football food chain. Ohio State, Bama, you can figure them out. There'll be another 20 that get to bowl games. Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan State, they'll be fine. And then there'll be the rest of college football. You know, programs like Air Force and Georgia Tech and, Oregon State. They've never been great. Those programs are rarely relevant, and they'll remain mostly irrelevant. Stop telling me things aren't sustainable. What was unsustainable was the pet rock. Paying $40 for a rock. From day one, that didn't feel sustainable. Dear Colin, with the success of the Celtics, the success of the Warriors, the Mavericks, the Heat, is it fair to say the NBA's super team era is officially over? All right, let's adopt a new rule in society. Nothing ever truly dies, and everything is cyclical. Right now, hard work, playing defense, being coachable, like 1970s NBA is working. But if Donovan Mitchell went to the Dallas Mavericks to join Luka, you would have two stars. They would end up at minimum in the Western Conference Finals, and suddenly the star era would be the envy. Here's what I know. At record companies, in movies, in sports, stars like to play with stars. You think Jason Tatum would really mind another star coming to the Celtics if it meant 4 and 5 titles? You think Luka wants to have the ball in his hands for 47 minutes a night the rest of his career? It's hard to get those stars because the true stars are rarely on the market. Right now in college football, it's a little unwieldy with the NIL. Everything is cyclical. Some boosters will start overpaying for players. The players won't deliver, and donors will pull back. Years and years ago, they said, game shows are dead. Let's go back to our rule. Nothing dies, everything is cyclical. Shortly after they made that announcement, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire burst on the scene, and it became not just successful, the #1 television show in America. Streaming was hot. Now it's crashed. It'll be back. People like television on demand. We like on rainy days or when we have the flu, binging on television. Once again, nothing dies. Everything's cyclical. Dear Colin, what do you make of the reports that Kevin Durant hasn't spoken to the Brooklyn Nets? Well, I rarely talk to my bosses either. Outside of my producer, Andrew Sampson, and my wife, Ann, and occasionally my children, I don't really talk to anybody that frequently. I mean, my wife leaves me for 3 times a year for a month. It's healthy. I think if you're a well-run company or an excellent relationship, you don't need to talk that frequently. I mean, let's be honest. When you hear the report, would you be more satisfied if this had taken place? Ring, ring. Hi, it's Kevin Durant. Hello, Kevin. It's Steve Nash, your coach. Hey, coach, what's up? I don't know. I had nachos tonight. What are you doing? I'm in the Bahamas vacationing after a first-round playoff exit. Yeah, that was a real bummer, KD. Silence on both ends. Okay, coach, well, I'm going to go. Okay, star player. I'm going to go too. Click. Really, it'd be a healthier relationship? Folks, if you have to call people all the time, not only are you frickin' needy, but you're not in a healthy relationship. My takeaway is the Brooklyn Nets have talked to KD probably, but they want to give him deniability that they haven't talked. So if they trade Kyrie Irving or don't renew Kyrie Irving or extend his contract, Kevin Durant can say, hey, I haven't talked to the franchise. I didn't know anything about it. But get off the phone. Stop calling people all the time. Unless it's your wife.